measures. And so in the village, you have uncle, you have grandmother, you have, aunties, and everybody seems to be in everybody's business, all right? Then we moved to the cities. And what I was describing to you, the cities or the towns, what I was describing to you was still benefiting from the after effects of the village, so that the software that was running in our parents was very communal. Even people who lived in Nairobi still had the idea that I can correct somebody else's child in the 80s, 70s, maybe 90s kidogo. Maybe multipartyism, I think, came and opened us up. And then we began 𝗧𝗪𝗂𝗃, and everybody became very, individual rights were quite elevated. And to date, we have quite a bit of that. And we need to talk on rights and also responsibilities. But coming back to my topic on the city, everybody lives for themselves. And even the way our architecture speaks to it, we live in apartments where you don't know even the next door neighbor, maybe for a whole year. Unless maybe you're just complaining about who has parked on my parking lot, who is that who has blocked my car. And those are the conversations that we have. In many ways, we have continuously lost that sense of community. Unless maybe you're just complaining about who has parked on my parking lot. The digital era, where now, whereas in the village and in the estates that we grew up in, it was very easy to be controlled by your parents, because they would say, do not associate with the son or daughter of so-and-so, especially that house over there, that family, they are bad people. Now, those bad people come through our phones, our tablets, and they don't just come as one. They are in their hundreds and the thousands, and it's a really sad state that whereas our parents currently are using the software of 1980 and 1970 to parent a 21st century child who is interacting on, online. I cannot tell you how many stories we've had from as far back where I worked, as far back as 2007, which is when I think we had the introduction of laptops and Wi-Fi. Now, people are moving from dial-up, for those who remember, and we're beginning to have quite a bit of network, Wi-Fi. And I remember one time in 2007, a child of class 6 saying, please help me, that I am not able to concentrate in class because I am so deep in pornography at class 6. So somehow he had the sense that this is not right. When we dug the story, we realized the dad had become a bit more modern, progressive. He had placed a laptop in the house, Wi-Fi at that time. And the son was deep into pornography. I cannot tell you how many stories of pornography or drugs that kids have gotten into by themselves through the screens and been able to actually get a lot of negative information that sends them the wrong way. But let's look at maybe some solutions as we transition from village to the towns to the digital era that we are in. What are some solutions? I'll just share a couple of thoughts and then I'll end because of the minute. So again, reinforcing that this is a research that a child who is checked by many adults who are requiring the same thing from them aligns. So if you remember my story, I knew my mom's eyes are somewhere hovering. I go home, my dad is there. My teacher is very concerned about how well I'm doing. And it seemed like there was a coordinated effort to be able to check somebody. When Madam Gloria was here, she said her story of getting out of alcohol was because she went into a peer accountability. So it's a very powerful thing that you have several people mirroring each other. We are designed like that to actually work. Whatever we believe gets reinforced in an outside-in manner as we work on the inside-out, which the inside values. They need to be reinforced and put guardrails around. So that is the perfect picture, the standard of how we should be operating. But how do we operate in the 21st century now? All those stakeholders that you're seeing, you might not be able to read all of them, but what I wrote over there was just from up there, God is in the picture. He has an interest in the child, the aunties, uncles, elders, peers, grandparents, and parents themselves, okay? Now, when we go to the current state, the stakeholders are not reading from each other. So you find that the teachers are saying something, they're sending a different signal. They may be very concerned about, competency-based. They want the children to learn the academic goals. Earlier on, the domestic worker, when you leave them with your child, they are watching Niger movies, they are watching through screens, whatever it is that, they are. In fact, you recruited them not on the basis of your values and your beliefs, but because they were available, they could work. So you're actually not reading from the same script like in the village where you actually are connected by the same value system. So it's very possible you have a different signal from the domestic help, you have a different signal from the teacher, you have a different signal from dad, you have a different signal from mom, you have a different signal from teacher, maybe you play some sports, you have a different signal from the talent coaches, let's call them. And this really leaves the child very confused in terms of which signal do I follow. So they easily fall through. So the solution is then to attempt to reconstruct that village so that it actually matters. If we don't, then we end up with all the stories that Prof was talking about here, children getting pregnant by age 9, and all the things that we know could go wrong. And so that final picture over there is a picture of the child and the parent. That red part, you might not be seeing it very clearly, is the parent. On your, what would that be? On your left side is the school. I just chose one of the stakeholders and said the school because that's where the bulk of our children are, for many hours. And then there's all the other stakeholders who I'll just read for you who they are. From the domestic managers who I had mentioned earlier, neighborhood, the peers. Media and tech is in red. I just highlighted it because it is not, we need to really pay attention to that. Talent coaches, extended family, the government. All those are different stakeholders. And the reason the parent is at the bottom there, red, is because you are the only one who has the chance to coordinate all these stakeholders in a way that mirrors something close to what the village was. Because if the children are left by themselves, growing the way we are busy, go to work, they go to school, we meet again in the evening, and there is nothing in the middle holding us together, then the child is highly likely to be let free and not have what is called, they will grow in a community that casts off restraint. There was a professor writing in 1947 predicting how America was going to go, socially speaking. He was a social scientist, a Harvard professor. And what he said was, you notice that people become very individualistic in all the civilizations, whether it's the Roman, the Greek, and he was predicting America was going to go through that. And it's pretty much the same pathway that a lot of us in many countries are going through, where you move away from the communal life, you become a nuclear family, the extended family is not in the picture a lot anymore, and then you become very individualistic and you begin seeing all manner of things. And all these things happened at the height, in fact, at the collapse of many civilizations, where people become they cast off restraint. They don't want to be checked by any authority. So my last point is, as a parent, take back your authority, whether it is the screens, like we determined with my wife, our children are going to get their screens when they are 18. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds crazy. They still interact with our phones, which is controlled, and sounds very radical, but we actually think it should be normal, that children should access screens much later. And when you look at, I did a research on many countries around the world. We just read recently about Australia, but there are actually many countries that have since said, in fact, by 0 to 3, they should not even touch a screen. And then by 16, they're probably just handling an hour a day, if they must, and for educational purpose. And it needs to be you need to have, core viewing, which we don't have time for. So all in all, I will end there just to say that it does take a village, but the village looks very different from today compared to the previous one. And the parent is the key factor in creating this preventive measure by coordinating very actively all the stakeholders and being very watchful over these children. Then we'll be able to prevent them from home as they get out of our nests and come back. By the time they are older and their brain has developed and matured fully, then they're able to make better decisions. And so the age of protection from 0 to 14, all the way to 18, some people even say 21, is very important. Thank you very much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going.
Thank you very much, Steve, for taking us through the role of the family in preventing the child from substance use. And thank you very much for reminding us the traditional virtues and values, the community approach we had for parenting our children, and sure, the family really matters. And it defines the character, the personality of a child. And we need to monitor every step of our children so that they grow, not being as strangers, but as partners in this journey of life. Asante sana, another loud of clap for him. Our next presenter is Mr. 𝗏𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃, who will take us through the school, keeping children in school initiatives. Is it achievable? At the end of his session, we'll be able to know if it is possible. Mr. 𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃 is the coordinator for all charity projects for 𝗪𝗲𝗲𝗃𝗃 Swami followers, Giant Group 𝗏𝗏𝗃 and 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗃 𝗏𝗏𝗃 Group has supported many projects for vulnerable children and communities in Kenya. The projects are done jointly by 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗃 for 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃 Mahajan. Karibu sana, Mr. Desai.
Thank you. Good morning. Me, because I've been in the field of philanthropy for the last 40 years, and my specialty is helping schools, primary, secondary, and also universities. So our group is a philanthropic group, Giants Group 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃, 𝗪𝗲𝗲𝗃𝗃 Swami followers, and 𝗦𝗂𝗯𝗀𝗃 Vaishnav Mahajan. We are all volunteers in this group, and in 2021, we joined hands with NACADA to bring awareness on the drug abuse project. So I would like to thank NACADA for partnering with us. And we have done quite a bit, and hopefully that it has brought little impact still. But we need to do quite a bit, because jointly only, if we do it, it will bring great impact. You know, as Steve said, families, you know, now we are, before we were joint families, like we still are. My own family, we are 24 in the family, and we are joined. And now those families are getting separated, and one is I mean, if there are two married a couple, they say it's just two and our children only. Before we used to think on the broader side, my uncle and everything. Steve, that was a good thing. My speech will not be that long. I was just getting the mood done. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and students from various schools, thank you for the opportunity to speak about an incredible, important initiative that aims to safeguard our children's future. Keeping the child in school. This topic resonates with many of us as it touches upon the well-being of our youth, who are the future of our country, their educational journey, and their long-term success. The issue of drugs has become a major barrier to the education, and it is crucial that we come together to address it. Education is a cornerstone of a child's future. It opens doors to opportunities, enables personal growth, and equips young people with the skills they need to succeed in life. However, the path to education is not always smooth. Too many children face obstacles that threaten the ability to stay in schools. And one of the most significant challenges today is the lure of drugs. Drugs, whether recreational or more harmful substances, can disrupt a child's future, focus and behavior, and of course, overall academic performance. For many young people, the first exposure of drugs occur during their school years, which lead to missed classes, dropped grades, and ultimately the decision to leave school altogether. This is where the Keeping Children in Schools initiative becomes a powerful tool. The goal is to create an environment where children are not only protected from the dangers of drugs, but are also empowered to make uniform positive choices about their futures. By keeping a child in school, we are not just keeping them on a path to academic success, but also preventing the devastating effects that drug can have on their lives. There is a very strong, well-documented correlation between drug use and school dropout rates. Drugs, especially those that are easily accessible. If you see, bhang is very easily accessible. It can be grown just in one's garden, or also if it's a school which is having dormitories, it can just be grown just down, and it's very easy to grow. It can also be grown in the rooms, the dormitories. A child struggling with addiction may not have the capacity to attend classes, complete assignments, or participate in extracurricular activities, all of which are vital growth and a successful educational experience. Furthermore, the environment surrounding drugs use can often lead to risky behaviors, poor decision making, and even criminal activities. We always read in the newspapers what is happening to our youths. These behaviors, if left unchecked, can make it difficult for the students to reintegrate into schools or even lead them to drop out permanently. Sadly, once a child leaves school, they are more likely to fall into the trap of substance abuse and become caught in the cycle of poverty, unemployment, and ongoing challenges. Breaking the cycle, and it starts with keeping children engaged in schools. One of the most critical elements is teaching children about the dangers of drugs and the benefits of staying in schools. Programs can provide appropriate age information about the risks of substance abuse, helping children to make informed decisions. When a child understands the consequences of drugs, they are more likely to pursue peer pressure, stay focused on their education. We at Giants Group Twiga and 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 Swami followers started a drugs and substance awareness program in 2021. And we distributed banners to over 10,000 schools, secondary schools, in all the 47 counties through the Ministry of Education, and also with the support of NACADA. In addition to this, we also run in the Nation newspaper every Tuesday a similar program to sensitize people of this problem facing our country. we require a support system in our schools so that the children are more focused and do not get into this. So what our group is doing now is that we are establishing libraries all over the country. We started it in 2023, and to date, we have established libraries in over 230 schools all over Kenya. What happens with the establishing of a library is that when the students are free, they have something to read. And also by reading, they get knowledge. The library books which we give to the schools are mostly story books, because the students are already having the normal books, the CBC books, the textbooks and everything. So they need to have some books which is a bit entertaining and informative. So this is one of our programs which we have started, and we are still continuing this initiative. By identifying students early, schools can offer targeted interventions, whether through counseling, tutoring, or connecting with students with local drug prevention resources. Catching the issue early can prevent small problems from escalating into bigger ones and can keep children on track academically and emotionally. So here we need parents who can see a child when he or she is back from school of the behavior. There is nothing wrong in checking a bag, the school bag of a child, to see what is inside there. Because we have found out in the schools where we have 50 schools in our program, that when the parent checks bags, they find something inside there which is not appropriate. So it is good the parents look into it. A child taking any type of drugs, the parent can realize that there is something wrong. We are living in a society where we think my child is not taking drugs, which is wrong. If your child is taking drugs, it's better we stop that menace on the spot. Because if it escalates, then it becomes difficult. In Kenya, we don't have rehab centers which offer free services. Most of the rehab centers here, because we have made a research also, charge on average 10,000 shillings per session, which is very difficult for a normal parent to send a child to that rehab center. So we also need the government to come in, along with NACADA, to set up rehab centers which offer services to people at a very low cost. Maybe the new shift which has come in, they can integrate rehab facilities for people or also a child. The fight against drugs just isn't a school issue. It's a community issue also. When schools partner with local enforcement, health providers and community organizations, they create a network of support for students. Communities that are united, and as the professor said, that in his area, there are no bars. That is a wonderful thing, because the child who passes through a bar can be attracted. Our government is trying, the county government is trying to stop bars or stop our closing bars which are near residential. But I think it has not been a very successful program. So more emphasis should be taken by the county government through NACADA and other agencies to see that the bars which are still existing near our residential areas should be closed. Professor, I think you should deserve a clap that you have managed in your area to not have any bars. I think a big clap for Professor. The impact of keeping the children in school and beyond is not just only an individual success, it's a success of the community at large. A generation of educated, healthy young people will have a profound effect on the society. We can have leaders, innovators, and many if they learn properly. By preventing drug use and ensuring that children stay in school, we are investing in a stronger, healthier future for everyone. Poverty is one aspect of drugs with children. I'll just give you an example. 2 years back, I was in the northern part of Kenya, and we saw youngsters just idling, just lying there as if they had taken something. So I asked the elders there, what is wrong with this? It was just 11 o'clock. They said that these youngsters have been addicted to the drugs. What is happening? The drugs come from Somalia, and that is heroin. Yeah, it's there, it's a fact. This, because they didn't have the job, the youngsters, they were told to carry that package, the small package, to the cities in Kenya. So they were paid 1,000 shillings or more, and then as they went along, they thought that somebody is paying me for a small packet of 1,000 shillings, what can be inside there? So they started piercing that packet and saw the white substance. And they tried it out. Now, if you try it, you become addicted. So now they don't have any other way but to be like couriers, because that drug is an expensive drug. So this is what is happening to our youths also. In conclusion, the Keeping of the School initiative is not about ensuring that the child attends school. It is creating an environment where they can thrive and succeed free from the pressures of drugs. By providing the right education, support, and resources, we can protect our child from the devastating effects of drugs and help them to stay in the healthy part and with a bright future. Here, our institution, what we did is that poverty is one of the aspects. So 17 years back, we started a project where we serve 𝗬𝗎. And today, our institutions, Giants Group, 𝗦𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃, and 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 we support 23,000 students in 30 schools by feeding them 𝗬𝗎. What happens is that what we found is that if something is served in the schools, the child comes to the school. Because most of the parents which we support in these schools are day workers, casual workers. And it is only in the evening when they bring something that there is food on the table. So this project has had a big impact on the children, on the students coming to the schools. And for us, like all of us here, a cup of 𝗬𝗎 is nothing. But for them, is a meal which can be the only meal for the day. Finally, I would like to thank Dr. Yolanda and her team at 𝗪𝗏𝗃 for giving me this opportunity. From our group, we will partner with 𝗪𝗏𝗃 wherever we can. What I would like you to, everybody, this is something which not only the government will be able to do, but it should be a joint effort by families, by communities, by religious leaders, by religious institutions, no matter what. In our Hindu community, I'll just give you an example. When we had this project taken to the community at large, people thought, oh, it's not us, it's not for our community. And then when we gave them the facts, it's for each and every community, no matter who you are. It's there in each and every community. The other thing is that, first we were, the norm was that it is only in private schools, the high-ended schools. No, it's not in only the high-ended schools. Even in rural schools, drug is a big menace. Because we have found a student as young as 10 years taking drugs. So it's something which is worrying. Before it was just in the developed countries, but now it's also in Kenya and other parts of Africa also. So thank you very much. God bless all. And you know, we are here in God's house. So I think God is good all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mkesh, for the wonderful work you're doing in the school settings. Keep on keeping on. We have looked at the family setting, we've looked at the school setting, and we've also looked, now we want to look at the workplace. We are following up this child from the family to the school. Now we are going to the workplace. And to take us through this session is Mr. 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃. Elijah is a dedicated chairman of the Long Distance Drivers and Conductors Association, a visionary leader with decades of experience in the transport sector. Under his leadership, the association has become a powerful force for change, addressing critical issues like road safety, worker rights, health agenda, and member well-being. Friends, again, allow me to invite you to give a loud applause to Mr. Nyaga. Karibu sana, Mr. Nyaga.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Hamjamboni wa Kenya na wageni wetu, hamjamboni. Shukrani sana. Kwa majina ni Elijah Nyaga. Maybe I'll speak in Swahili, Sheng, and English. So, I'm the chairman for Long Distance Drivers and Conductors Association. And I'm also a DJ because I can see the young guys here. I'm a DJ, been in the industry for the last 18 years. I've worked with 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃 Radio, for those who know 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Radio, for 6 years. As a DJ since 2009 to 2015. And because I'm saying that because we have so many young guys here. And because we are here for the Drug and Substance Abuse Summit, you know, it affects even the people in the entertainment industry. Sindio, the young guys? Wasanii wako wapi? Kuna wasanii hapa? Kuna wasanii? Fiti. Sawa sawa. So I'll just start. And okay. Thank you. So the association was formed in 2019, and we've been there for the last 6 years. I being the chairman, wajaamua kunitoa, lakini wakiamua tatoka. So for now, I think I'm doing a good job for them. That is why I'm still holding that seat. So we've been there, and basically what we've been doing, we've been, thank you. So for the association, what we do, we basically advocate for decent working conditions, fair labor policies, and access to health services for our transport workers. We are also an association that represents both the HCV and the PSV. By HCV, I mean heavy commercial vehicle drivers, and the PSV drivers who are bus drivers, matatu drivers. But our primary target are the long distance drivers. So those who do beyond 40 kilometers within the city or within the town, those are our major clients or the targets. And the role we play in the transport sector, basically we play a very big role in ensuring that we run the economy. Sisi usema sisi ndio the drivers of the economy. Without drivers, we cannot get medicine, we cannot get food. You could not be here if today the drivers decided that they are not going to work. So we play a very big role in shaping up the economy. And we also provide direct employment to thousands of drivers, conductors, mechanics, and support staff. We also efficient and safe transport. Basically, we make sure that as drivers, we reduce the logistics costs, and we also enhance productivity in terms of, that is the association on the jobs that we do, and especially in the transport sector. So when it comes to the substance and substance abuse, as an association, we've been so much ensuring that we engage our members, we engage the companies, we engage the community within us, so that we have a workplace that ensures that at least we have a reduction in the number of drugs and substance abuse. And in the transport industry, we have a growing concern of how the drugs and substance abuse have been affecting the whole industry at large by the rising cases of drugs and alcohol abuse among drivers and conductors. We've also seen this replicated in the communities around us, like the police. We've seen the police also abusing drugs. They are our friends, and we work together with them. And sometimes we also engage them in wacha nisema kwa vita kidogo sometimes, kwa sababu we tend to disagree, and especially those who are affected by drugs and substance abuse and at work. You'll find saa zingine dereva amesimamishwa pale na maybe yeye ako juu kidogo ama polisi ako juu kidogo, na the result haikuwagi mzuri. Basically lazima either watapigana ama watakosa kusikizana. So substance use in the transport sector has been on the rise, and factors that are contributing to substance use, number one, long working hours and fatigue leading to reliance on stimulants, mental health struggles due to work-related stress and lack of support, poor labor policies, job insecurity, low wages, and harsh working conditions. And now what are the consequences? The consequences are fatal accidents and loss of lives. And I know we are all aware that there has been an increase in the number of accidents. And last year, NTSA gave out a report, and in their report, they indicated that drug and substance abuse is on the rise in the transport sector, together with mental health issues. So it's among the consequences, fatal accidents are among the consequences of the use of substance abuse, and also increased economy burden on families, insurance, and national health care. Another consequence is disruptions in logistics and supply chains. So in our case study, today I came with one of our drivers. He's called Patrick. I don't know where Patrick is. Kindly come here, Patrick. Patrick has been a driver for a very long time. He has worked with different companies. Na unajua hii tasnia yetu ya udereva, so many people see as if it's an industry for those who are not learned. But when you go to countries in the Europe and maybe in the US, one of the industry, the most considered and the biggest industry in those countries is the transport industries. Our drivers are among the most paid in the transport industry. So in our case study, I said I'll come with Patrick, and Patrick, just say hi. Tell them you've been a driver for how long, and why are you this way? Because right now, Patrick, because of substance abuse, Patrick doesn't even have a home. So he just stays in the street. But he's also a learned fella. Just 1 minute.
Habari yenu. My name is Patrick Murekio. I'm a driver by profession. I'll start by saying that I've been in the driving industry since the year, back it was 1989. That's when I started driving. I worked with several companies, starting with 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗆 Limited. I went to 𝗦𝗶𝗶𝗆. Then from there, I went into long distance now, starting with buses, going to Mombasa, playing Mombasa-Busia route. From there, I went to trailers. I worked with Masai. I worked with Chirenji, all the way from Nairobi, Mombasa, Kigali, Kampala, then back here. Then from there, I got my friend here. I joined him, driving all the way Nairobi, Kisumu, Busia, Luanda, name it, up to Lamu. Yeah.
So I know Patrick cannot talk much, but we are trying to see what support we can be able to offer to Patrick. This year we've started a campaign towards mental health, drug and substance abuse. And the campaign, we are calling it Stand Up, Speak Up, Ongea Ikutoke. So we're majorly looking at targeting the drivers and ensuring that we reduce the number of the cases in the industry. So our call into action is we would like to urge the NACADA and the government at large to give us support, and the transport workers to give them support in terms of sensitizations and campaigns. We are also telling NACADA, kindly involve the Ministry of Labor, because most of the issues that are contributing to drug and substance abuse in the industry are arising because of labor issues that are there in the country. So we are calling NACADA to also involve the Ministry of Labor so that you are able to work together and ensure that we reduce these cases. Thank you very much, and that was my presentation. Shukran sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwangi, for bringing out the workplace setting very well. And thank you, Patrick, for disclosing your life, your journey, and we are really wishing you all the best in picking up your life. Finally, and not the last, our own Madam Susan Maua. Let's give her Maua. Maua in Kiswahili means flowers, so flowers. Give her flowers. Madam Susan Maua is the Deputy Director, Capacity Development at NACADA, a very experienced lady in the prevention world, and she's going to take us through the community setting. Karibu sana, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you. She's harassing me that I have 5 minutes. I'm going to talk about county community work groups. This is an initiative of NACADA, and we are working together with the civil society organizations, the faith-based organizations at the county level, so that we walk the talk. So what we are doing is building capacity, building capacity of the community work groups. So the question you are going to ask yourself, why community work groups? One of the things we want to reduce alcohol and drug use in the community. We also want to leverage on the joint initiatives and resources for alcohol and drug use prevention and management at the community level. And we also want to standardize and harmonize community efforts in the reduction of alcohol and drug use so that we don't have people doing their own things across the counties. This presentation should have been made by some of the groups that we have already started, but they are going to get stronger as we go along. There are benefits of working together as different community and faith-based organizations and even the state actors is so that we can have a wider reach within the community. We also want to accomplish objectives beyond the individual organizations because together we achieve more compared to when one organization is targeting a small group of people and others within that community is left out. We also want to increase involvement of community members so that they can advocate for drug-free environments. I heard earlier on people talk of no safe spaces, but we also have organizations that are working towards creating safe spaces within the community. And most importantly, we also want to leverage on the resources that are available. So what are some of the things? As you can see, we have started this journey. And so it is something that is going to take us a while. The first thing that we do is to identify organizations that are doing any alcohol and drug abuse activities within the county. The next step is to do capacity building for those organizations. And some of the people in this room have already gone through the process of identification and have gone through the process of capacity building and have also gone to the third level, which is establishing a community work group and even electing officials. If you are one such official, can you just raise your hand? If you have been trained, Nairobi Community Work Group, yes, you can see some of them within. Yes, so it means that we are working towards that. Now the next step is to actually develop a work plan of activities that they want to do as a work group. What is your vision? What is your objectives for your community? Yeah? And so you can see that beyond that, we will be moving towards implementing activities so that we address the local conditions. And so far, I'm just going to share with you, that is the map of Kenya. You can see we have done trainings in all counties except 4. And those will be done before June of 2025. So the whole idea is we want to ensure that in every county there is a work group that helps to address the local conditions, because we don't have a one-size-fits-all. That is indeed what we are looking forward to doing. But having said that, there are also challenges that come with this. We have found out, in as much as so many of us saying, oh yes, we have a serious issue in the community and drug abuse is an issue, there is also the community readiness for change. We do a lot of talking, but when it comes to doing the actual work, then you find the workers are few. So you find in some cases there is no awareness. Actually, people think the problem is in the next county, not ours. Yeah? Like, for example, when the 2022 survey was released, you find alcohol Western is leading. Then, when we present this, people are always asking, but we thought it was central. So that means that there is the perception that it is happening elsewhere and not in our community. There is also denial or resistance within that community. It says, you know, here we don't have a problem. Yeah? And particularly when we look at the traditional substances. If you go to Western, they will tell you busa ni chakula. Yeah? If you go to the coast, they'll tell you mnazi. Oh, it is natural, drawn from the tree. Nothing has been added. So those are actually perceptions that tells you the level of community readiness. Then there is also limited enthusiasm to provide for resources, and the earlier presenters talked about the issue of resources. Even 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 has just mentioned they need support, and that has to do with resources. And then for those of us who are doing prevention work or addressing these issues in the community, there is also resistance to change from just awareness into targeting specific populations. We don't have a one-size-fits-all. If you are reaching schools, it's a different kind of ball game compared to workplace, compared to the community, and so on. And so, even as we will be moving to our breakaway sessions, this is where we have more time to actually talk about this. So, we need to put some more effort so that we can have more discussions there. So in terms of the way forward, I've mentioned the trainings. We have 4 counties, but that does not mean that once we do the counties, that's the end of it. We will continue to build capacity so that we get even at sub-county level to the location or ward level. So this is just the beginning, but it is a process. There is the issue of establishing working community work groups, the steering committee, so that they can be able to help drive the agenda, and also those work plans and activities. So within those work plans, or during the trainings, then we also discuss what kind of support that can be given by NACADA, what kind of support that you can get from the county, and so on. So, in terms of challenges, we find there is local data is actually missing at the county level, because when you go to the county, then it means we also require county level. As NACADA, we do the national survey, but we need to narrow down to the county. So NACADA gives the technical support, but the county governments should be able to support this. The other is identification of civil society, faith-based organizations. In some counties, you can barely find people who are doing this work. Or you are doing, but nobody knows you. So you need to be known. And then operationalization of the County Alcoholic Drink Control Acts at nearly all the counties. That is not being done. And that is what we are working towards. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Susan. Time has proven that you're a timekeeper. A loud clap for Susan again. Thank you very much to our 4 panelists for taking us through that wonderful session where we have looked at the family setting, the school setting, the workplace, and the community in general. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite, to return the mic to Dr. Orlando to take us to the next session. A clap for her.
Thank you so much. Let us appreciate Judy Twala for the good moderation. Asante sana, Judy. So I know our time is very much gone, but we have a very important activity that we still need to do before we go for break. But before that, allow me to invite our presenters for the plenary session to kindly come to the front. We need to appreciate you. So if you have presented during the plenary session, tunakuitisha urudi hapa. Bwana Kiteto, kindly. Karibuni, Mr. Mukesh, kindly, and Susan Maua, kindly. The ladies with the gifts, kindly also come. Our time has flown away. Asanteni sana for the good work. So we just have a simple token for you. As the gifts are going on, we want to invite the youth, Teens in Talent. I hope you're on standby. Yes, so go ahead, Emma. Thank you, Bwana Mukesh. Asante sana, cameraman. I hope you're on standby. Thank you. At least baridi itawapiga. During long distance, you are protected. Asante. The one for Susan is coming. Yes. We have reversed so that the ladies are at the end. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now you may have your seats. Asanteni sana. Thank you. Let's appreciate them as they sit. So I also want to recognize the presence of one of our board of directors, Madame Amoit, who will be addressing us in a few minutes. At this time, as we shift gears, the ones who joined us early in the morning, I mentioned that NACADA held an essay writing competition for primary and secondary school children, and the ones who wrote the best essays are being awarded in the next few minutes. So, tuchangamushe tu kidogo. A team all the way from Mathare will be showing us their dancing skills. So I invite Alphonse's team, the youth TIT. Karibu, the ground is yours. Better clap for them. Enye ao ni TIT. They have done very well. Thank you very much. At this time, allow me to hand us over to Ms. 𝗪𝗂𝗃𝗃 NACADA team. Hata mkimona anakatwa awards. Thank you very much, Carol.
Thank you very much, Daktari. And I'd like to tell you that please don't try what those young men did at home. Tafadhali. Thank you. I know we are the ones between you and your tea break. So my name is 𝗪𝗂𝗃𝗃 from the Corporate Communication Department. Last year we held an essay competition for students in our high schools. We had a total of 438 students who participated and 48 schools. I'll just tell you the theme was the challenge of substance use, building a sober tomorrow together. We had topics focusing on the issues of social media, role of parents, strategies for avoiding drugs, creating safe environment, and how students can be able to support each other. At this juncture, I want to say thank you to the Ministry of Education because they were able to give us the people who helped us to do the marking, the people from the National Examination Council, the NACADA team that was part of the technical team, and also our management for the support in terms of finances and the staff to participate in that. So at this point, I'm moving very fast. Allow me to invite Director Corporate Services. Director is my boss's boss. So I have to be at my best. But Director also did not tell you that he speaks fluent Swahili. Mimi Kiswahili haikufika kwetu. That is the most I know. Karibu Daktari.
Thank you very much, Carol. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once more. Yeah, because of time, we want to kickstart the process of awarding our students. But just before that, earlier on, there was the issue that NACADA is leveraging on every avenue to fight against alcohol and drug abuse. And that's why we decided to get the information from our students. So some of the thematic areas that we wanted students to write on were what are the ways that we can harness to deal with alcohol and drug abuse, etc. And I was also lucky to read through some of those scripts, and it was interesting. One thing that caught my attention is the fact that for a long time, parents have always thought that they know. But from the essays, students are saying that we need to be sensitized. We need to be. So, tukiwaambiwa sisi ni wazee, tukubali matokeo, ama namna gani? Asanteni. So I want to call on stage Madam Florence 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗧. Madam Florence 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗧 is the Secretary Administration in the State Department for Basic Education. She is representing the PS State Department for Basic Education in the Ministry of Education in NACADA board. Can we give her a round of applause? So, Madam, maybe you can give a few remarks, given that this is education matters, then we can proceed and give the awards. Thank you. Karibu, Madam.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. As he has said, my name is Florence 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧, alternate to the PS State Department for Basic Education in the NACADA board. I am happy to see all of you here, and I feel encouraged that this war against drug and substance abuse, there is hope in winning this war. The speakers which I found on the floor here mentioned that the bulk of those affected by the issues of drug and substance abuse, the bulk of them are in our learning institutions, and more so, basic education. And therefore, as a sector, we are right at the center of this. Another speaker here said that this is not a problem of education sector or the schools alone. It is a community problem. And seeing all of you here, I feel encouraged that this concerted effort is going to bear fruit. I want to congratulate NACADA for leveraging on this initiative of essay writing on prevention of substance use. Towards education, our role is to promote and to provide equitable, inclusive, and quality education. And for sure, alcohol and drug abuse is a barrier to that mission. So for us, this is a great milestone that we can involve our children in terms of expressing themselves about what they think or what we should do to prevent drug and substance abuse. And therefore, we are giving them a chance to be part of the solution to this menace, instead of just being seen as victims. As a ministry, we are now implementing the CBC education. This initiative of essay writing provides that opportunity to harness creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving among our learners. So for us, we are in this together, and we want to congratulate everyone who found time to come and participate here. The other exercise I've been told to do is to present a prize. Bonobura, can you come here? What next am I supposed to do? What next am I supposed to do?
Yeah, so maybe before you do that, we need to appreciate you.
Okay. So I want to stop there because one of the speakers was saying this particular activity is standing between you and your tea. I don't want to proceed. I just want to say, as a ministry, we are part of this and we are happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. We appreciate you and we appreciate the ministry. So to start off, we had a category for special recognition for children who are in schools with the children who are abled differently. So in that category, we had Joyland Special School in Kisumu. And ladies and gentlemen, help us to welcome to the stage Sarah Okumu Mikael. She is 18 years old. She is from Bondo. Yes, Sarah aspires to be a nurse and she wants to venture into agriculture. Her hobbies include dancing, singing, advising teens, and dancing again. Thank you very much and welcome to the stage. So we also welcome Duncan Ochieng-Odiero. He is 20 years old. He is still from Joyland Special Secondary School in Kisumu. There is a ram on this side. His aspiration is to be a teacher, to get CPA certified, and to do livestock keeping. His fun fact is chilling with his allies. His hobbies include Googling, business ideas, and opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly welcome Duncan Ochieng-Odiero to the stage. Karibu. Duncan is also accompanied by his teacher, Mr. Cyrus. Thank you very much. As Duncan exits from the stage, we'll move to the Swahili section. Yes, we'll move to the Swahili section. Madam, thank you. And we had a winner as first runners-up and a second runners-up. So we'll start with the second runners-up. And the student is Joy Chepchumba. She is a student at 𝗡𝗁𝗃𝗃𝗃 Girls High School She is 15 years old. Her hobbies include drawing, writing, and reading. Her aspiration is to be a fashion designer, author, and an environmentalist. Her fun fact is that the warmer the blanket, the colder the future. So, Daktari, I hope our blankets. Yeah. She is accompanied by her teacher, Madam 𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Yes, Madam, please come and receive on behalf of the school and the teachers. Yes. So as Madam Christine receives on behalf of the school and the teacher, we will now be calling on stage the first runners-up, 𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 girls. Yes, it's his turn. Yes, thank you very much. The first runners-up, this is an 18-year-old girl, and she's a former student of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 girls in Nyeri County. So when the essays happened, she was in Form 4 because it was last year. She loves Kiswahili. She is motivated by her teacher by the name of Mr. Renson. Leadership is her thing, and she has been a prefect in school. Her hobbies include singing, learning, and knowing new things. Her aspiration is to be successful in her career. So ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Marianne Wambugu, formerly of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Girls High School, accompanied by her teacher, Mr. Renson Wambugu. Let's give them a round of applause. That is the teacher, Mr. Renson, who has highly inspired Marianne in her Swahili area. So finally, the winner in the Swahili section, all the way from Tharaka, but schooled at St. Mary's Igoji School. She is 17 years old, aspires to do law and become a great lawyer in the world. She enjoys field hockey, journaling, and taking care of wildlife. She also aspires to be an author. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Rhoda Kanoti to the stage, accompanied by her teacher, Lenny Mugambi. So welcome to the stage, Rhoda. Asante sana. Kiswahili kitukuzwe. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for your patience. As Rhoda and Madam Linetti exits the stage, we welcome, we'll do the English category, and the second runners-up in this category is his writing began when he was in class 7. He has also authored a miniature comic book. He used to write for the Amani Club competition, and that is thank you to their teacher, Mr. Nderito. He is a former student of the Njiri School. His hobbies include writing, singing, and cooking. Sometimes he likes to draw. And he aspires to become a biomedical engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Wesley Lambarik Mbaya, formerly of Njiri's School, to the stage. He is accompanied by Mr. James Nderito from the school. Thank you very much. And as Wesley and Mr. Ndorito receive their awards, allow me to call the second runners-up. Her passion and interest is in languages. She is a student at St. Mary's Mumias Girls. Her hobbies are researching and finding new information in emerging fields. She loves traveling and counseling peers. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Miss Valerie Rachel to the stage, accompanied by her teacher, Miss Annette Kituri. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Form 3 student in 𝗦𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃 Isinya. She loves geography, agriculture, physics, and biology. She aspires to be a general practitioner and a surgeon because she loves helping others. She's also curious about the human body, and at some point she'll also want to deal with animals. So she also loves cooking, she loves a lot, and baking too. She is the winner in the English category, and one of the information that we did not reveal to her is that her essay was also the best across. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming, what was that? I want to give you some, yes. 𝗍𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 to the stage. Ivanka is accompanied by her friend, Melissa Mudoni. She's also accompanied by her teacher, Mr. Simiyu, and she's also accompanied by her principal. Yes, her principal is Madam Alice Sayo. Yes, welcome to the stage, 𝗦𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Isinya. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'd also like to announce that for all the students that participated, their schools and the teachers, they'll also be receiving a certificate which we'll be sending to them. And we'll also be sharing the details on when to call for the next essay. And I'll now hand it over to my boss's boss.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? Before Madam Florence leaves the stage, we need to appreciate her. Where is our Director, Public Education and Advocacy, Dr. Lando? And then we are requesting that we can have a group photo with the students. Sorry, students can just come back on stage for a group photo with the awards. So who is taking a photo here? Director is receiving a gift. Students, kindly come on stage so that we can have a group photo with your gifts.
And in the spirit of walking and talking what we are saying, just to recognize that one of our presenters, Mr. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃 from Twiga Groups, was so happy to hear about Joyland Kisumu being here because they have worked together to support part of fees for some of the students to support mattresses and blankets. So know your partners. Kama hukumuona mtafute. That is how we are networking. Thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think now I want to hand over to Dr. Lando to finalize the next phase of the engagement. Asanteni sana. Can we give a round of applause for our students? For some of us who went to school during the Nyayo era, can we give students 3 rounds of applause for Nyayo era? Moja, mbili, tatu, funga. Fungua. Asanteni sana, asanteni sana.
Thank you so much DCS. Tupige DCS ya makofi ya kiketi. Asante sana and congratulations again to the awardees. Continue inspiring even your fellow students. I know by now we are very hungry, and it is understandable. A reminder, we have the QR code. ICT, if you could project the QR code. So all the photos that are being taken are being uploaded in that QR code. So when you scan it, you will get the photos for yesterday, today, and as we are continuing, they are updating it. So don't go without your photos. When you get your photos, please tweet them, put them on TikTok, Instagram, wherever. Remember to tag NACADA. On X, we are at NACADA. And in all the other platforms, it is the same way. Tag me, tag everybody else that you know. Let us like, let us share, let us continue networking. We are going for tea break down where we had lunch. The place, all sense recognized that some of you suffered yesterday during tea break. You didn't know where to put your cup or your plate. So that's why we are not having it here. We are going down where we had lunch so that you can have tables and seats. Please take the shortest time possible. They have added more serving points so that we do it faster. After tea break, we are going to the breakaway sessions. After tea break, we are going to the breakaway sessions immediately. The rooms remain the same. The moderators for the breakaway sessions, if you're in the room, kindly stand so that the presenters can see you. Esther, if you're here, stand. Carol, stand. Kimani, if you're here. And Kamenderi, where are you? Okay, so look for those faces. The rooms, the 2 rooms are down there. You'll see the one for schools just directly. Family is on this side. Workplace is upstairs. Community, you're remaining here. So immediately after tea break, please rush back. Another point to note, you have to register to be here. We've noted some of you have entered here without registration today. That means we can't have your certificate ready. You only get a certificate if you attended the first sessions, the breakaway sessions, and today. We cannot account for you if you have not registered. So as you're going for tea break, if you have not registered, just pass by, put your signature beside your name, na tuendelee na siku mzuri. Sawa sawa? So shall we pray? Father, we bless your name for the great day we've had, for the laughter, for the claps, for the celebration. We exalt your holy name. As you're breaking for tea, that the tea may be a blessing in our lives, that, Lord, it may even give us more energy. We pray this in Jesus' name. Have a wonderful tea break. You only have 20 minutes.